This hike is easy. It's not steep at all. Anybody could do it. You don't need to be in shape. These are all things that you will never hear me say about the trek to the Blue-bearded Helmetcrest.
The blue-bearded helmetcrest is regarded as one of, if not the rarest hummingbirds in the world. It was thought to be extinct for nearly 70 years until 2015, when researchers discovered a small population in the extreme remote Santa Marta mountains of Colombia at some 13,000 feet of elevation. The population is exceedingly difficult to reach, requiring a multi-day backpacking trip, special permission from the indigenous groups to access their land, mules, chefs, and the logistics go on. Zach, Callie, and I joined Oswaldo Cortez and company from Bogota Birding to see if we could survive the hike and have a chance to see one of the rarest birds in the world. The trek starts near the mountain town of San Pedro, which is around 5,000 feet above sea level, and requires 2 days of hiking and almost 8,000 feet of elevation gain to reach the lagunas where the helmetcrest is found. The first day started early. We left Santa Marta around 5 a.m. and headed for the mountains. A couple hours later, after a quick stop to change vehicles due to some road construction, we made it to San Pedro, where we enjoyed a hearty breakfast that we would hope would give us the fuel we needed to make it to our first camp. After breakfast, we were back on the road. We drove as far as we could, but the unseasonable rain and fog eventually made the road impassable. This is where we'd start our hike.
Just had an incredible time with white-tailed star-frontlet hummingbird. It was visiting some bromeliad flowers, and it had a perfect perch that allowed us to really enjoy it from like 10 or 15 feet away. It kept coming back to that perch and just sat for long periods of time. It was really, really cool. It's our first really good look at that bird. Made it to our first camp, and I took hardly any video footage because it was a weird day. We ended up driving up further than we thought we could, and so the hike was a little shorter. When we started the hike, ended up becoming super foggy. You can probably see the fog behind me, and rainy and cool and cold, which is not what I was expecting. I expected this to be hot and sunny and dry. It is the dry season right now, and we're expecting it to be dry and sunny. Because we were so far ahead of schedule by driving up, we did a lot of birding along the way. We got a lot of the Santa Marta endemics, got some decent photos, decent video, but it was really tough because of how foggy it has been. Like, you can just see the fog in the background, and it's just been cloudy and foggy all day. That can make photos pretty tough. So the plan for tomorrow is that we will hike up the rest of the way to the lagunas where the blue-bearded helmetcrest is found. And so that hike is going to take all day. We'll leave early. So right now I think we're camping around 8,000 feet, and tomorrow we'll be camping up around 13,000 feet. So far so good. Hoping the weather breaks a little bit for us, and we'll see what we find tomorrow. So we're starting out day 2 on the Helmetcrest hike with a nice steep incline. I'm already out of breath. About to start the part of the trek called the Killer Hill. Apparently it's pretty brutal. I think it's the hardest part of the hike. So hopefully it doesn't live up to its name, but everybody's feeling pretty good. We're gonna take it slow and should be getting up higher elevation and maybe Paramount here pretty soon. Still on the terrible climb that we're doing. We're over 10,000 feet now and just sat down for lunch, and now we got to continue up that hill right there. Very steep. Wish us luck. So I'll be honest, I have no idea how we made it here. That was an extremely brutal trek. There were so many times where I thought, can I actually do this? We would go over ridge after climbing and climbing and climbing, thinking that that might be the last one. We'd get over that ridge and we see another ridge that we'd have to climb. So we did finally get to camp after 9.5 hours of hiking. Had to set up all of our tents and get ready for today, which is the day we're looking for blue-bearded helmetcrest and Santa Marta wren. And probably wondering, was it all worth it? Look at this view behind me. Just absolutely incredible. So we've been battling the weather the whole time we've been here. This is the first morning that we've woken up and there's 1 or 2 clouds in the sky. And I couldn't have picked a better day. So hopefully it will stay this way. And after breakfast this morning, we're going to find our target. This has been a pretty crazy day already, and we haven't even eaten lunch. We finally got to the third lagoon where the birds are seen, and we actually had a female blue-bearded helmetcrest between the second and third lagoon. Not cooperative, and we wanted to find that area where this male's been hanging out. So we got here, and my lens internally fogged up, so I couldn't take pictures of anything. Right when we got here, we had a nice adult male blue-bearded helmetcrest, but really fleeting glimpses. Really nobody could get pictures. It was really hiding. It was already pretty sunny and warm when we got here. We needed to start earlier. I've just been camped out on this hillside, and there's this flowering tree in front of me, and it's got a ton of flowers, and these are the flowers that the helmetcrest likes. And so, I don't know, I probably waited for over an hour, and the bird finally came in and fed here for probably about 5 minutes, just methodically working all of those flowers. And I'm really close. I got some decent photos. I think everybody's kind of on the same page that we need to get here earlier in the morning, a lot earlier, so we can get these birds out in the open more. So my guess is we're going to spend another day up here just enjoying these helmetcrests. I still haven't got a good look at a Santa Marta wren, which I definitely need to do. That's another critically endangered bird up here. But man, the helmetcrest came in. It was so relieving. It's been a lot of work to get here, and it has paid off. Day 2 of helmetcrest watch. Yesterday we had an incredible day with the birds. We spent literally all day here. After about 5:30, birds became a lot more active, and we got really nice looks, some incredible photos, and we decided that we wanted to spend the full day up here again. So we got up super early. We started hiking around 5:20 this morning, and we just got to the location where we had the birds. We had one adult male, one young male that were fighting, and then 3 females yesterday. So 5 blue-bearded helmetcrests, plus a bunch of Santa Marta wrens and some other cool birds. So we're gonna hang out here for the morning until the light gets bad again, and then we're going to look for black-backed thornbill, which is another really cool hummingbird, very range restricted. We're going to do that this afternoon. Let's see how that goes. So we're now working our way back to camp after our second morning with the helmetcrest. Again, just absolutely incredible time with those birds. And I think I finally got the photos up, and after, the birds are really easy to see. They're really hard to get really good photos of because they just don't sit still for very long, and they're usually not out in the open. So it took a lot of patience and probably 6,000 photos, but finally got some that I'm really happy with. So the plan for tomorrow is to head back down to the place we stayed the first night. For the rest of the day, we're gonna look for birds like the male black-backed thornbill, brown rump tapaculo, and then get some rest for the long hike downhill tomorrow. Well, we just spent our last night up at 13,000 feet where we were camping. Spent a total of 3 nights up here, had 2 full days to bird, and today we're breaking down camp and we're heading back to the spot that we stayed on the first night on the way up here. So even though this trip is starting to come to an end, we still have 2 full days of hiking. We have a lot of birding left to do. Got a lot of Santa Marta endemics still to hopefully get looks at. We've heard Santa Marta ant pitta, Sierra Nevada ant pitta, but we haven't seen either of them. So we have a lot of good birding ahead of us. The weather is clear. It looks like we're gonna have a totally different hike down than we did on the hike up. See it in this video or not, but there's our Waka or Kogi hut over on the ridge over there. And these are the indigenous people that have lived up in the Santa Marta Mountains for thousands of years, and we're on their land. We pay a fee to be able to access their land, to be able to go up to the Blue-bearded Helmetcrest, and so they allow us to pass through. On the way up, we climbed all the way up to the top of those mountains up there. Couldn't really see it because of the fog. Heck of a hike. So this is our last day on the trail, heading back down to San Pedro and then Santa Marta. Catch my flight tomorrow. Starting the day strong with Sierra Nevada brushfinch and really nice looks finally at Santa Marta ant pitta. Got a whole bunch of butterflies coming out too. Hopefully we'll see some more birds along the way. The butterflies out today are just crazy. Lower elevation, lots of diversity. This is awesome. I wish we had this weather on the way up. We would have had a ton more butterflies. It's a good way to end the trip though.
all made it back to Santa Marta, Colombia in one piece from this trip. Getting ready for my flights back home to Michigan. Gonna be a long day and a half to get back there. But everything on this tour went amazingly well, from the birds, the butterflies, the orchids, the frogs, the toads, all the wildlife. Everything was just incredible. Very, very challenging, but if this looks like a trip that you would be interested in doing sometime, I highly suggest you check out Bogota Birding. Oswaldo Cortez put together this excellent itinerary. We got pretty much everything that we wanted out of this tour. I'll put a link to their website in the description below so you can check that out. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.